Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. Well, we're continuing to look at Luke chapter 12. And just saying the name Luke reminds me again to thank you for your prayers for Luke these past 3-4 weeks as he went through that intensive major surgery on his little brain, probably for the 32nd time. And he came through well, he recovered well, and yesterday he went home. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your prayers. And so let's continue to remember what we're talking about in this passage, because Jesus has said already in this chapter, beware of hypocrisy. Beware of hypocrisy. Living a life that does not match up with what we say we believe. I believe that God is God. I believe that God takes care of me, and yet then I don't trust him. That's being a hypocrite. Beware of covetousness. Jesus said next to us as he turned to his disciples, and basically he's saying, don't you be trying to have more of things you really don't need. Trust me for everything in your life. And then an indication that we are covetous and we're not trusting him is worry. And so we see now Jesus says in verse 22 through 34, do not worry. And also he adds in there in verse 32, do not fear. Because when we're worrying, we start fearing that we don't have enough to meet our needs. And the Bible teaches us we shouldn't do that. Now, remember when Jesus turned to his disciples, he said, don't worry about your life. And I thought of James 4:14, for what is your life? It's even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. Your life is a short, brief of time compared to eternity. And that's why we should prepare for eternity. Don't worry about your life. And what did we make our life? Eating and clothing ourselves and taking care of our bodies. But Jesus said, no, your life is more than your body. It's more than your food. My friend, it's the kingdom of God. It's joy and rejoicing in who Jesus really is, recognizing him as the Lord of our lives. So let's finish reading. We read through verse 29 yesterday. In verse 30, Jesus goes on to say, for all these things, that's your food, your clothing, your shelter, the nations of the world seek after. And your Father knows that you have need of these things. But seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added to you. Do not fear, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell what you have and give alms. Provide yourselves money bags which do not grow, a treasure in heaven that does not fail, where no thief approaches nor moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Now, this is something Jesus has said before in Matthew chapter 6, verse 10 through 21, almost the exact same words in one of his first messages. Now we know he's at the end of his ministry here in Luke chapter 12. He's on his way to Jerusalem, we read back in Luke chapter 9. He's finished 3 years of ministry, last year ministry, last months of ministry, and he's reminding his disciples. He turned to his disciples. He's telling us, you see, worry not only can destroy us, it strangles us, it paralyzes us, it keeps us from going forward for God. It's deceptive. We think it's the main thing we need is money and food and clothing, and we try to live for that and the things of this world, when Jesus tells us just the opposite. And then he tells us it deforms us. We lose our witness and our testimony when we are worrying, because we say we have faith in God and he takes care of us. Oh, I love that verse in Romans chapter 8, and I believe it's verse 32. If God spared not his own son, how much more through him shall he freely give us all things. The Father knows that you have need of these things. Seek first the kingdom of God. How do you do that? You know God by his name. You know God personally. You know him intimately by praying and being in the Word, getting his focus on things, getting his point of view. And oh, right on the desk behind me is a little verse right in the middle, and I love that, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your your heart. Do not lean to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will direct your steps. He will guide you. He'll meet your needs. He'll watch over you. What a great promise today. Make sure we do that. God bless you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.